Interesting week one for both the Jaguars and the Browns. I just got done rewatching that Jaguars game, and I think people are going to give Miami a little bit more credit than they deserve in that one. Like, I don't think, like, especially they blew a couple opportunities to really take advantage, that take control of that game in the fourth quarter, and it really shouldn't have came down to the game-winning field goal kick. When you hear people talk about it, it's like they just started going and never stopped against Jacksonville, and it just seemed like one of those games where just stuff randomly went wrong for Jacksonville. There was the fumble in the end zone, and then right after it, which it didn't end up being a turnover, but it couldn't have felt good because you fumble a kickoff right after that. Luckily, you get back on it. Well, what is the general vibe around Jacksonville about what happened in that game, and if you feel like the issues that were in that game are replicatable?
And I still think the Jaguars are still very like they play real tight. So the fumble happens, they're about to go up 24-7. It should have never been that game should not have been lost, let alone been close. But the fumble happens and then everything just snowballs. Like it's the
Mm.
craziest thing to watch how the offense just completely turtled in on itself while the defense was playing the best game I think anybody has played outside of Kansas City I have ever seen the Mike McDaniel like Dolphins been played like that. And it's so frustrating to watch because everything that happened in the first half, play calling wise, didn't happen again. There was no play action early. There was no downfield play action attempts. There was a lot of horizontal running, a lot of screen passes, which is what the 2023 Jaguars did and weren't very good at. So it feels like there's a lot riding on this game because if you look at the Jaguar schedule, they have this game, they play the Bills, they play the Texans, they play the Bears, they play the Colts. This might be the most winnable game they have for the next 4 weeks, at least until you get to New England when you have to play them in London. This might be the most winnable game they have. And they need to win this game at home, not only to get into the win column for 2024, obviously, but to at least get some exercise some of those demons from 2023.
It's going to be important week two for both teams because I don't think both teams want one that taste in their mouth. You just mentioned the Jaguars' schedule coming up, and then the added factor of like, look, these locker rooms have people in them, and if you're a Browns person, like if you're on that team, and Deshaun plays like that again, I mean that's recipe for a mutiny, right? Like that's just going to happen. Like these NFL players, they will stick with it until it becomes obvious that it's not even productive for the team to stick with it. And then that's where you start to get, the mutiny stuff that happens in these locker rooms. So, I mean, the Browns really got to put together a much stronger performance here this week, or else they're going to risk some things going really wrong in that locker room. Let's talk about that Jaguars secondary. Now, I know Tyson Campbell not projected to play this week. You guys brought in quite a few people to play in that secondary this offseason. Ronald Darby, Antonio Johnson, Darnell Savage. Do you think that what we saw here was just you're dealing with two of the fastest wide receivers in football and Mike McDaniel cooking up stuff, and that's why stuff was open downfield at times? It's not like the Miami Dolphins scored like 40 points on you guys, right? So the stuff was open there, and like you're only going to stop Tyreek for so long. Was it that was going wrong in Jacksonville? Or do you think it's a bigger problem than that in that secondary?
I think it's largely because when you play the Dolphins, you're going to give up two big plays. And I think out of Tua Tagovailoa's, I think 330 passing yards, I think one was the 80-yard touchdown to Jalen Tyreek Hill, and the other was a 62-yard pass to Jalen Waddle. That's 140 right there. Like that. Outside of that, they largely kept this offense. They kept a lid on the offense. I don't think that there's anything schematically wrong. It's just now that Tyson Campbell is out, there's an easy person to attack in Buster Brown. He he was the primary backup last season, but did not play well, obviously, when Tyson Campbell went out, and teams attacked him heavily. As long as Tyson Campbell is out, I expect Buster Brown to be the guy they go after. in the secondary, but for the most part, this secondary played really well. Darnell Savage moved to nickel slash safety, was kind of a hybrid player, but he played really well in the slot this past Sunday. Antonio Johnson had some great plays. Andre Cisco is phenomenal. It's just, when you play a lot of man coverage against the Dolphins, you're gonna get beat. That's going to happen.
I've never heard a more picked on number 2 corner name than Buster Brown. Like that's got to be in the Hall of Fame. Cole, where would you rank that in the Hall of Fame? Like bad corner names to have.
I mean, is it even worse than Buster Screen?
Nah, because Buster Screen can sound like I'm a Buster Screen. Like
No, no, don't do that because they was calling him the screen door. They was calling him the screen door. Don't do that.
Buster Screen wasn't terrible. Buster Screen was not a terrible football player.
His rookie year,
it wasn't like Ibrahim Campbell.
Yeah, that's true. His rookie
he was
year,
an undrafted free agent.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, he was like a super late round draft pick. Buster Screen.
He was like a 4th round pick.
Absolutely not a 4th round pick. At most a
fourth or fifth. He was 4th.
Still, he was starting week one. Of course he sucked. But Buster Screen had a long career, man. Can't disrespect. Yeah. Buster Brown, though. Come on. Buster Brown got to be a worse name.
Buster Screen was a 5th round pick. I just looked it up. He was a 5th round pick.
5th round pick. Okay, 5th round pick. Cool.
But Buster Brown?
Hey, man, I don't know. They both up there.
And keeping it up, but that was the Mike Pettin year, right? I'm sorry, JP, we're getting sidetracked already. But that was the Mike Pettin year. And I remember he was one of the Browns' best blitzers on that team. That's how pathetic they were defensively on the edge that year. Because I think it was like they lost Jabal Sheard. Like,
oh man, blast from the pass.
Yeah, I think we were starting. What was the dude's name? JP, do you remember this guy? He was like a 7th round pick, but he was like a 5-star prospect. He went to like this super tiny school. He wore 95, and everybody was like, "Oh man, it can happen! It can happen!" Because look at the pedigree that he has. But what was his name? Curtis, do you remember what I'm talking about?
Let me check.
I know who you're talking about. I know who you're talking about, but I can't think.
Was it not? Was it? It wasn't Armani Bryant, was it?
No. It was like
I think it was Armani Bryant, right?
I know who you're talking about though. I can't think of his name.
He went to jail, I think.
He did. He went to prison.
Wait, was
that
it Armani?
Was Armani? It was Armani Bryant. He did went to jail.
My brain still work, man.
Look at you, man. Look at you.
Yeah, I remember the misery. I remember because every year I was hoping that Armani Bryant would do something, and then I saw Myles Garrett with the same jersey number as him and realized, boy, we was just dreaming on bullshit, dog. That's what it looked like. We had no clue what it looked like. We thought Armani Bryant could be a good edge rusher. And like the thing was, he got suspended for 4 weeks one time, and we were like, dog, what we gonna do? That's how bad the Browns edge was. That's what it was like edge-wise in Cleveland before Myles Garrett showed up. Oh my goodness. I just forgot about that.
I'm trying to look up the 2015. What was that? Was that 2015? Was that 2015? Mike Penn's first year?
It was 2014, 2015, and I think 2016, because he played 1 year in the regular jerseys, and then he was in them FUBU jerseys for 2 years.
Yeah, 2014 was the year we went 7-9, and we started the season 7-4. I remember that. Hold on,
bro. If Gen Alpha ever brings back them goddamn FUBU jerseys, I'm a quit. I can never see those jerseys again.
Hey, you remember Desmond Bryant?
Yeah, because he went famous because of the picture. He had his mugshot. He had a giant neck. He was actually solid.
You remember Carlos Dansby?
Oh yeah, Carlos Dansby was one of our better free agent pickups from between 15 and 2000, and he wasn't even that good. You said what?
Hey.
Former Auburn Tiger, Carlos Dansby.
Oh yeah. He had this speech about how he's a giraffe, right, and how he above it all because he got the eyes of a giraffe because he got a long neck. I don't know. Hilarious person, Carlos Dansby.
Hey. This gonna make you laugh. Guess who led the Browns in sacks that year?
In sacks, what we talking about? 2014, 2015, what year?
2014. You remember?
2014. I have to imagine it was Paul Kruger, right?
It was Paul Kruger. 11
Yeah.
sacks. Paul Kruger. Ooh.
Say good Lord. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Hey, do you remember? You remember who started opposite of Desmond Bryant? Left defensive end.
Left defensive end. All right, so it was Paul Kruger. Were we running a 3-4 at that time?
We were running a 3-4.
Okay, so it was Paul Kruger, Desmond Bryant.
Mm-hmm.
We had lost to Ty Rubin by that point.
Nope.
We had Ty Rubin.
A Taba Rubin nose tackle.
Okay. So Ty Rubin was there. Nah, there's no chance we were still trying to like make Phil Taylor work still, right?
No. Not Phil Taylor.
Not Phil Taylor. The other, was he a draft pick or was he a free agent?
I'm assuming he was a draft pick.
Was it Xavier?
No.
Who was it?
Billy Wynn.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, Billy. Hey, I thought he was decent for a while, dog. Out of Boise, right? Boise State.
Yeah, he had no sacks. He had interceptions, though.
Oh, we had Frosty Rucker on that team, too, right?
Oh, let me see.
And if I'm not wrong, I think we thought Frosty Rucker was good.
Incredible feat.
I'm looking.
Yeah, Frosty Rucker, we got him from Cincinnati in free agency.
Jabal Sheard was still here. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, bro, we had so many hopes for Jabal Sheard.
We really did. We really did. Listen, hey, look at this offensive line. Listen to this offensive line, dog. We were spoiled for so many years. Joe Thomas, Joe Bitonio. Oh, is that the year we got rid of Alex Mack?
Oh no, that line was good that year. No, Alex Mack got hurt in 2014. We beat the Steelers by like 20 points. And JP is just like here for a Browns nostalgia trip right now. But we beat the Steelers by like 20 points. It was the first time we beat Big Ben in Cleveland, and I think ever. And then he went down in the third quarter for the year and got carted out. But I think I forget who we replaced him with, but at right guard, was it still?
It was Greco.
Yeah, it was Greco. And then I think Mitchell Schwartz was still here. It was before we fucked him over on the contract, right?
Yeah, Mitchell Schwartz.
Yeah, it was where we tried to play fucking hardball with him. Like we're the place he wants to be at to begin with.
Man, we had 4 All-Pros on this offensive line.
Hey, and we still didn't have 1,000-yard rush.
Nope.
Still didn't have 1,000-yard rush.
Nope.
That's when I knew running backs mattered. That's when I knew.
You want to know who started at running back for the Jaguars that same year?
2014?
14.
Jaguars in 24. This is when y'all had Blake Bortles, right?
And the two-tone jerseys.
Yeah, and the two-tone helmets. Yeah. Yes.
Man, who was it?
I'm going to take a guess. Is it TJ Yeldon? I don't know.
No,
it might have been TJ.
Not yet.
Because you drafted Leonard Fournette not long after this. So, I have to...
Like a couple of years before Fournette, yeah.
Yeah. So, I have to imagine he wasn't good.
Couldn't have been good.
Give us a hint.
Toby Gerhart.
Oh, wow. I was never going to guess that.
Never would have got that.
Toby Gerhart and Storm Johnson.
Ooh.
Hey, Storm Johnson is an all-time name, though. All-time name.
Incredible name. We were still playing that Gus Bradley Seattle defense. So
that was
Tyson Walu was on this team. Red Bryant, Ziggy Hood.
Oh yeah, Ziggy Hood.
Not the roster.
Red Bryant, man.
Oh, they had old boy Telvin Smith on that team too, right? Before we found out he was a disgusting person.
Yeah, Telvin Smith was like a core member of the Jaguars up until 2018. Or not 2020, when they quiet cut him.
Yeah, then the FBI showed up.
Ooh.
Yeah, that is not good. Not good there. And then
That team, Justin Blackman was suspended in 2014.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Paul,
man.
Paul Posluszny was on IR. Allen Robinson was on IR. We were playing Denard
Damn.
Robinson, serious snaps at running back, and he also was on IR.
Damn. Denard Robinson.
Blast,
Yes.
another blast from the past, man. Oh man.
It's sad
So
that like now we're talking about like Allen Robinson. Like, oh yeah, that was back when Allen Robinson was still good.
Oh, he was
Like,
great. I love Allen Robinson. Him and Allen Hurns, I thought they were going to be Keenan McCardell and Jimmy Smith, man.
oh man.
oof.
The Blake Bortles. That was 10 years ago.
That was 10 years ago.
Man, time flies. Time flies. I remember like getting in debates about that draft and being like, should the Browns go after Blake Bortles? And like people were confident to Big Ben. And I think there was Johnny was in that draft class. And then Teddy Bridgewater also in that draft class. Derek Carr, right?
I think that was the car year.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember Derek Carr being like the most confusing one that fell, right? Because Teddy fell because of arm strength questions
Arm
with
strength
him, and then durability.
He had baby hands.
Yeah, he had the small hands. But I remember Derek Carr was like, yeah, that didn't make that much sense. Like,
I
and
think
it's
that
one of
was
those things that's gonna be hard to explain because like for like 5 years, it didn't make sense that Derek Carr fell, and you could like talk about that being a success. But like if you try to talk about Derek Carr falling to the second round now to somebody who just recently got into football, they're not gonna understand what you're talking about.
Not at all.
there were two quarterbacks drafted in the second round that year. One of them was Derek Carr, and the other was Jimmy G.
Oh, Garoppolo. Hey,
Mhm.
we don't talk enough about how much the pre-draft like people love Jimmy Garoppolo coming out.
I vividly remember like he's gonna be a first round pick, and I was like, okay.
Urban Meyer said that's the greatest quarterback tape I've ever seen.
That should have let
Hilarious
you know everything you need to know.
connection.
It should have let you know everything you need to know right there.
No, hey, you know what, JP? Because I was thinking about that when I was looking at Drake May. I was like, oh yeah, his tape kind of reminds me a little bit of some of Jimmy G's stuff, but obviously it's more impressive because he's doing it in the ACC and not like the CAA. But I was like, I can't go public with that one because people gonna think I'm calling him Jimmy Garoppolo. That's not what I mean at all. But people forget what Jimmy Garoppolo looked like at Eastern Illinois. Let me tell you,
NFL dude.
you would never guess that Jimmy Garoppolo's NFL career would have panned out the way it did if you watched that tape in college.
No way. No shot.
He was so accurate in college. That was the thing. We were talking about Jimmy Garoppolo being the most accurate quarterback in the draft class. And it wasn't even close.
No, not at all. Like it was him, then Derek Carr. The other quarterbacks drafted this year, Logan Thomas ended up turning into a tight end.
Was a solid one for a couple years.
Aaron Murray now works at ESPN, SEC Network. AJ McCarron was drafted in the 5th round that year. And then we rounded out with Zach Mettenberger, David Bailey, Keith Winning, Taj Boyd, and then
Taj Boyd got drafted.
Taj Boyd did get drafted. He did get drafted. And that was the last quarterback pick. There were no quarterbacks taken in the 7th round. And Garrett Gilbert. Garrett Gilbert also drafted.
Oh, yeah. Shout out Garrett Gilbert. He played for the Browns for a little bit, right?
Yeah. He did.
He wasn't. I don't think he played that long. I think he ended up going to Dallas, right? Was like the third string, and then he won a game there in Dallas.
Yeah, something like that. JP, who was the receiver y'all drafted in 2014?
In 2014? Oh my gosh.
Or was it before that? But he was y'all took him like early on in the first round.
2014. Oh, it was we took two receivers in 2014. The first one was Marquise Lee from USC, and the second one
second was who?
Yeah, we took both of them in round 2.
No, who did y'all take like early in the draft?
Wait,
JP. I can't think of his name.
JP. Remember how good we thought Robert Woods and Marquise Lee were going to be at USC?
Oh, I thought they were going to be the truth.
We thought Marquise Lee was the next TO.
I thought he was gonna be next up, man. And then he got to the NFL and realized that he cannot catch.
Oh, who was throwing the ball? Was it Cody Kessler at USC throwing the ball to him?
The Kessler or Matt Barkley?
It had to be somebody because I remember somebody talking about, man, his stock's only high because he's throwing to two guys who's going to play on Sunday. We're talking about like Robert Woods and Marquise.
I think it might have been Matt Barkley.
Yeah, it was college football 10 years ago. It's just like I feel like that was like the last of the like old school college football era where like a lot of these like long-term tropes were true because there was no transfer portal. So like you had to think about USC wide receivers like still feeling true. Because like you got like Caleb Williams is a USC quarterback, but he don't really feel like a USC quarterback. He's just Caleb Williams, right? Like it's changed so much in the last 10 years. But like you go back and you're like, dog, there was still only one championship game like before that season, 2013.
Cole, to answer your question, the last receiver the Jaguars took in the first round before Brian Thomas Jr. was Justin Blackmon in 2012.
Justin Blackmon is exactly who I was thinking about.
The key is under the mat. If you're listening, you can come on home. We miss you. The kids miss you.
Hey man,
how many games did he play for Jacksonville? It can't be over 10. It can't be over 10.
I don't even think it was over 5 for real.
He played 20 games.
Really? I'm shocked it's that high. It must have been like 2016. He got in there and got like 10 in on like.
He played 16 games his rookie year.
Okay.
4 games in his second year, and then was suspended.
No, he had the Josh Gordon career without like the one good Josh Gordon season.
That's why I was trying to remember him because I was like, hey, this is like one thing that Browns fans and Jags fans kind of got. Like we both just kept hoping that it would work out.
I've been waiting. I'm still waiting. The dude was so good his rookie year.
He was so good, dog. He was so
good. He's lucky that everybody decided to low Kyle like Trent Richardson for being a bust because he was more visible. But dog,
even the 2013 year where he only played 4 games, he had 400 yards on 29 catches. Like he was good.
He was cooking. He was cooking.
Never played. And it again goes to like the Jaguars just have a history of post Keenan McCardell and Jimmy Smith not drafting very good receivers. Matt Jones comes to mind, first round pick, played quarterback at Arkansas, and then moved into a receiver. Never
legend on the Madden though. Like Madden
did not work out on the field.
Yeah, that 2014 season, like that was the end of an era right there. We didn't know it, but the NFL changed drastically after 2014. It's football in general changed drastically after 2014 Hey, dog, was we still running Terrence West?
Yes,
in 2014?
We were still running Terrence West. Terrence West, baby.
Hey, Isaiah Crowell. We thought they was gonna be the new back and binder.
Man, we thought a lot of things. We thought a lot of things back in the day. We thought
that 2020 season made us realize just how desperate we were for talent when we saw actual talent.
Favorite. He was my favorite.
Hey, man, Brian Hoyer. We thought.
Forget it. 2017, I was pounding the table. Blake Bortles is actually serviceable for this team. I was that guy. Like he doesn't have to be great. He just had to do enough. I was out here defending him in group chats. Ran for 100 yards against the Bills in the playoffs.
I think we have learned sufficiently this year. Once you have to say that exact sentence right there, he doesn't have to be great. He just has to be enough. It's over. We got it. Like, look, because we got there with Watson, and we feeling it right now, right? Where it's like, oh no. Like I have learned my lesson on this. The next time I utter that line, I'm like, nope, nah, it's done. We just need to cut bait. Like when we said this with Baker, it was over with Baker. Like, hey,
perfect segue.
It's really so impressive how the vibes from that game immediately took a downturn as soon as he stepped onto the field. Like it didn't last. The good hopes didn't last a single drive. Like I think the Cowboys went 3 and out or something, and then the Browns came on the field and immediately just like, nope.
No, it was even crazier than that, JP. the Cowboys didn't just go 3 and out. They got to a 3rd and 27. Right? Like a 3rd and 27. They punt the ball to Jalen Darden. Jalen Darden cracks off this huge return. And I don't think it really set in until the second drive because you got a field goal because of the big return there. And they're like, okay, we got a penalty on the first drive. It's the start of the season. You're not really tripping on that. It was like that second drive that didn't go nowhere. And then the third drive. And then you get to 2 minutes left in the second half. You're like, all right, let's get that 2-minute drill going because Kevin could cook up a 2-minute drill in his sleep. And you didn't get that going. You actually kind of like, I think you turned the ball over and almost gave up a field goal the other way at the end of the half. And that's what it was like. And then he had that one drive where he scored and you felt like, okay, this could be a sign. And then the next, like he went 3 and out worse than he did in the second half, in the first half. In the second half after scoring that touchdown, I believe they went like 7 plays in 4 drives.
They, during the 2-minute drive, they handed the ball off on 3rd and 7. And at that point, it was just like, yeah, this ain't working. This is not happening. Because not only has he lost faith in himself, everybody on that team does not believe he can throw the ball forward with any accuracy, that they're just punting on 3rd down.
I've never seen Stefanski call a screen on 3rd and 10. I've never seen him do it. He is always ultra aggressive on that. And once I saw him being conservative on it, I'm like, man, this could be a bigger issue than we think. Because, like, I mean, it is week 1. I know week 1 is just prone to overreaction. And I'm trying to leave myself some room that, like, hey, maybe it's just all the excitement crashing down in the way it did nationally and the embarrassment. Maybe it's making me feel way worse about this than maybe I should be at. We'll see. Because I think if that's true, you should see a much better performance week 2. But I'm not about to sit here and act like I'm relying on like a big uptick in quarterback play this week. And I don't think the Browns should either. It's a difficult place to be at.
It's rough. I mean, he posted the worst success rate of any quarterback last week.
And he had a worse QBR than Bryce Young?
Yes, worse than Bryce Young.
His rate was worse than all of the rookie quarterbacks. Bo Nix played bad, and Deshaun Watson was somehow worse. Will Levis threw a pick 6 and tried to throw another pick 6 multiple times in that game, and he was still worse. Like it's just, you never know what's going to happen when he has the ball dropping back to pass, but you know none of it is going to be good, and that's the problem.
Yeah, and I know you guys are talking about it. Like it's like a Carson Wentz level fall off. And I'm in my head, I'm like, it feels worse than Carson Wentz fell off. Because like Carson Wentz had like 2 seasons in Philly, or like really it was like 2.5, 1.5 really, because he got injured halfway through the year that people thought he would win MVP. I think Watson was like, he was good for like 3-4 years. And then it just dissipates, and it has to do a lot with the stuff he's going through, and the stuff he put himself through off the field. But it's like, it is fascinating to watch him because like, he's never been a fast processor. I think you pointed that out. And he's always been somebody who kind of like, he likes reading where DBs are going to go, or like kind of what their body language looks like. And you saw some of that in this game where it's interesting to me that he's never confident in a throw from what I've seen in that game. Like he was never confident in a throw because he's like, I have this concept. They're in this look. I got that route. Like, and if I don't have that, if that corner does that, I have that. It never looked like that. It was just like, oh, I saw these 2 DBs run into each other. Now I'm going to throw a strike here, right? Like, and that's what was concerning to me, is that even the stuff where he was successful, the very few times he was in that game, it didn't feel like replicatable success where he just was seeing it and getting it. And I think that's why when we watch these games, and Kobe, you can attest to it, it feels like we're watching these games on offense and there's like a giant piece just clogging up the gums offensively, where it just feels like there's so much friction going on to get a successful play. And I don't think Ken Dorsey's an incompetent offensive coordinator. I don't think Kevin Stefanski's an incompetent offensive coach. We've seen these guys be competent with other quarterbacks, more than competent with other quarterbacks. And you got to start asking at some point, like, is it just him? Like, is it just him? And it's a tough realization. You've committed a lot to him. Fortunately, you got Andrew Berry there, and he's able to manipulate the cap so that you're not losing a ton of your young guys. So you dodged that bullet. But I wonder how long they're going to eat this one, right? Like, are they going to go and try to, like, get something out of this throughout the whole length of the contract? Or, you know, for me, if it looks like this again, or if it looks slightly better than this the rest of the way, it's not like a giant improvement, like it's not something fucking miraculous that we see next week and for the rest of the season, I think you really got to consider just like, hey man, it's going to be awkward. He might have to be inactive for 2026 and you just move on, or 2025, 2026, and you just move on and you draft somebody this year and you just go on with the plan there.
It's gotten to the point where there's nothing that you can do. Like there's nothing that they haven't tried already. You know, they've tried incorporating him in the run game. Deshaun Watson has gotten hurt. He cannot throw the quick game. He's not a great processor. The arm strength is gone. You can't attack vertically. What else? What is left? He's never been that great as an under center drop back passer. So you're kind of limited to shotgun only, which takes an effect on your offensive line. It changes all the angles and the vision for your running backs. He has become such a weight, not only off the field, but on the field. He has become this anchor to this offense that's dragging everything down. And it's to the point where you cannot keep strapping yourself to this anchor. You have to cut ties. You have to, not even like, of course, like getting him off the team is priority one, but at least on the field, you have to try something different just to get some energy into this offense. Because right now, it is lifeless.
Yeah. Yeah. And Nick Chubb's not healthy yet.
Yeah. three more weeks without Nick. So it is what it is. 3 more weeks without Nick.
At minimum, 3 more weeks without Nick, right? Like, and then David Njoku's out, which was another one that we could just like, hey, make your life easy, dump it off to David. Because that's kind of what he did against Baltimore, is just like made his life easy, dump it off to David. Now, I'm interested to see what your perspective of was it, because did you watch all 22 for the Browns?
Yeah. I watched the offense. I didn't watch the defense yet.
That's fine. Amari Cooper, what did you think about how he played in this game?
Here we go.
It was up and down. I think there were some of it was due to the Cowboys defense is good. Like they're gonna, especially there were a couple reps where Kalen Carson looked really good, and there were some where he was open and you missed him. But I'll never forget that, like, it was Deshaun's best pass of the night, and it goes straight through Amari's hands, and it's one of those days where when it rains, it pours, and everybody was just playing poor. So I think it was an up and down performance for him for sure. Not the performance you would expect from him at this point.
Yeah, I was surprised he couldn't get under that. Like, he usually gets under that, and that was. I don't know if I'm like, again, it's week 1. I don't want to overreact, but I'm like, him not getting under that. And there were a couple times where he tried to hit a gear and it didn't happen. And look, he lost. He's already been like a 4.6 guy. He came into the league as a 4.4 guy, like for the last couple of years. And you've been able to be fine with that. But if he dropped like another quarter second, that concerns me, where I'm like, oh. There's been a lot of the stuff he's been able to get away with, he's not going to be able to get away with, because he's at least had enough burst to be able to get some quick separation, not really long speed. And I just wonder if that's something that factored into why the Browns were so like heavily pursuing a Brandon Ayuk this offseason.
And you wonder where you're going to get the verticality from this offense. I mean, Elijah Moore seems more of like a underneath gadget player at this point. I don't know what Jerry Jeudy is going to be, considering like nobody knows what Jerry Jeudy is going to be. And Amari Cooper sort of added that verticality, the explosiveness, but is not explosive anymore. That just constrains everything so much more. It makes the space tighter for David Njoku to operate. in the underneath areas, in the middle of the field. So now you're just losing all the layers to this offense, and you're just I like to say you're building your entire team out of 15 DeMar DeRozans, where it all are really good in the mid range, but you can't build everybody with being mid range only. You need to get some spacing, and if Amari Cooper cannot provide that spacing, then your offense just looks tight, and everybody is on top of each other.
Yeah, it's real easy to stay on top of it, right? Let's talk about the Browns' defensive line versus this Jaguars' offensive line real quick. What did you think about the Jaguars' offensive line, their performance versus Miami? Because I know it kind of fell apart a little bit late there, where I think they got 2 back-to-back sacks there in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and one of them I think was kind of on Trevor. I think he pulled it early, but I think that was also the effect of the pressure that was continuing to increase later on in that game. I didn't think the tackles played well at all. And I was
Mm.
stunned that Anton Harrison didn't play well. Jalen Phillips really kind of beat him bad with the speed. So I wonder if that's going to be a matchup where you might move Myles Garrett over there. But I say that to say Cam Robinson was probably worse. So, the tackles did not play well. I think Brandon Scherf might be on his last legs. He just doesn't look like he has it anymore. The injuries, the age is getting to him. He was struggling a lot on the interior, but I think a lot of that is also masked by the fact that Trevor Lawrence is so good at mitigating pressure. So the thing now is what the Browns have to do is change the picture on the back end because he is so good at mitigating pressure. Just make him hold the ball for like a tad second longer. That'll be the change that you need from Myles Garrett to get to Trevor Lawrence because he is so good at just getting the ball out.
What do y'all think of Travis Etienne? I have no idea how Jaguar fans feel about
I,
him.
I love Travis Etienne. I think he is a constantly improving player. He was really good as a receiver last year, and
Mm-hmm.
he is between the tackles. But man, you cannot fumble. You cannot fumble. That I'm so serious. They showed that fumble during halftime of the Jets game yesterday, and I got mad again. Like it's just those
Nah,
type of
nah,
moments.
JP. What did you tweet after that happened?
I hold on, let me see if I can find it. They
I believe I remember seeing the fumble on red zone, and I'm scrolling through my Twitter, and I see JP Acosta. This fucking team, man.
at this team, dude, they can never make things easy. There is no easy button in this offense. Everything has to be a constant fight, whether it be against the other team or themselves. Like, why? You cannot fumble there. And then on the kickoff after, Parker Washington fumbles, but he recovered it. It was this close to the Miami Dolphins just avalanching the Jaguars because of self-inflicted mistakes. And I think as much as I love Travis Etienne, he, as well as the entire Jaguars offense, has so many self-inflicted errors that I just wonder, like, what are you doing? What is being said during these moments where it's like, hey, we're good, we're okay? Or is it just like, oh my God, this is happening again. We can't let this happen again. I do think Tank Bigsby, the backup running back, looked really
Mm.
good.
Yeah, he looked good in that game.
Another year of development, another year in the offense. He looked really good, and ETN looked really good on those downhill runs like duo. Um, I think they ran a lot of gap scheme. So I really wonder if they're going to improve and use that a little bit more against Cleveland because that's what all of their play action was off of. It was off of runs that were at the linebackers to move them forward, and then you throw the ball behind them. I will say, I think the most impressive player outside of Trevor Lawrence offensively last week was Brian Thomas Jr. That
There we go.
that dude is good. I think Nick Saban on opening week of college football said you could shake a tree and find a receiver in Louisiana. The Jaguars found one. That dude is good, and
Yeah,
it's not just he is big, tall, and fast. He is field tilting fast. That threat of speed just changes everything for this offense. I mean, They could have scored another touchdown if Trevor Lawrence puts a little more air under the deep pass to Brian Thomas that Jalen Ramsey got called on pass interference for. This game is looking like 24-7, and you don't even need to worry about the ETN fumble. But his field tilting speed is going to be a problem for defenses because it opens up everything else for this Jaguars offense.
You know my theory on why Louisiana can. Well, do you know my theory on why Louisiana produces so many wide receivers?
I don't.
Don't start. Don't start. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. You don't do it.
They be slap boxing for fun in Louisiana. They slap box the past time in Louisiana. My family from there. A lot of that. Nothing makes you good at receiver like good hands. Like good, strong, quick hands.
I can't disagree. You know,
look, never seen a Louisiana receiver not get off a press.
It's good. You know, it'd be like
telling
that.
You go. Hey, I'm shocked their defensive lines aren't better. I guess it'd be little dudes out there be slap boxing. Like, I guess it don't be the big one. It ain't like Georgia, where Georgia produces the largest humans per capita. Like, I can't believe how consistently enormous Georgia can keep that football team. It makes no sense.
It's insane how we thought the biggest defensive line Georgia had was Jordan Davis, Nolan Smith, Dylan Carter, Trayvon Walker. And then like 2 years later, they just have another one of those guys with Michael Williams, who is a monster.
Yeah, man.
Like those dudes, like Trayvon Walker has just been insane throughout the preseason. Week 1 of the Dolphins, he was a monster. Like that dude is finally coming into his own. And especially if the Browns' top 2 tackles do not play, that is going to be a problem. Because if the Jaguars can just pin their ears back and rush the passer, Josh Hines-Allen did not have a great day, but he was rushing as Teron Armstead for most of the game because Trayvon Walker rushes over the right tackle. Teron Armstead is not going to be on the Cleveland Browns. So if the Browns cannot protect Deshaun Watson like they could not against Dallas, none of the stuff that we said about Deshaun not being able to do anything, that'll just be compounded by the fact they can't block.
Let's do an exercise for you. How do you think it's possible for the Jaguars to lose this game?
Okay, so I'll start with the Jaguars defense against the Browns offense. I think against Miami, Miami left a lot of yards on the table when it came to Tua scrambling because Tua is not a scrambler. Because of how much the Jaguars play man coverage, 2-man, cover 1, I think that is an area where Deshaun might have a little bit of success. Because like we said, the one thing that he does well at this point is he can escape pressure and he will run. So if he can escape that pressure and scramble a little bit, maybe then the game kind of gets a little easier for them offensively. But this game is going to have to be won with the Browns defense. I think the first thing that you got to do is it's crazy to have to say it, but you have to turn their offense horizontal. You have to get them into thinking, oh shit, we cannot throw the ball downfield. We cannot run the ball. We have to resort to screen game and RPOs. I think they can throw the ball downfield, especially if they use play action. I think this team can be really good at throwing the ball vertically, but they have to want to do it. And it's not just run first down, run second down, play action. It is throw play action early, and that'll help you release some of the stressors that Myles Garrett is going to force on you. It's going to help you mitigate some of the pressure that the Browns defensive line will get by just doing play action and running the ball at them just to get them to be less aggressive. I think that's the main goal for the Jaguars offense is to get an over-aggressive Browns front and use that speed and aggression against them with play action. So if the Browns are going to slow down this Jaguars offense, you got to get them going side to side. Get them running sweeps and screens and outside zone, and that's where you can beat them. because then that's where the Jaguars just kind of turtle in on themselves, where it's like, oh my God, we can't do anything in our staple offense when they haven't really tried what their staple offense is.
How
Well,
different you think the
JP,
approach is? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
JP, I'm going to tell you something, and I'm sure the Jags are going to figure this out pretty quick. If you guys are running sweeps, you guys running jet sweeps, you're going to have some success. I'm just going to let you know that right now. You are going to have a lot of success around against the Cleveland Browns defense if that's what you're doing.
They are going to try so many jet sweeps. In the second half of the Dolphins game, that's all they were doing. Jet sweeps. They threw a screen off a jet sweep. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like everything that worked in the first half with throwing the ball downfield and attacking this Dolphins defense, there were no screens. There were no jet sweeps. You did not have to run those. And I think they just got too cute. And that's where I think the biggest issue with the Jaguars is the play calling offensively. It's not just like, oh, this play design sucks. It's when you're calling them. I think a lot of people lose like, oh, this play design looks really cool. Like you can just draw it up on a notepad when it's more about when you're calling it at the right time. The Jaguars, like design wise, it looks fine, but it's when you call them. Why are you calling all curl routes on 3rd and 14?
Mhm.
Like we've been through this. You know, why are you calling jet sweeps? Why are there so many screen passes? So I think this chess match between Jim Schwartz and Doug Peterson slash Press Taylor is going to decide this game, because if Jim Schwartz can get this team playing side to side, then they will turtle in on themselves.
Be interesting. Like, what do you think the difference in approach is going to be offensively from how they approached the Browns defense last year when they saw them late last season?
I think this year it's going to be a lot more under center. There's going to be a lot more play action. I think last year they dealt with Trevor Lawrence being hurt, which kind
Mm-hmm.
of limited all of the offense. You couldn't really get under center. You couldn't really move him. And you could tell like he just was not healthy. Now that he is healthy, I wonder if this is going to be more of an under center. You're going to get him on the move and kind of avoid, it's not necessarily avoid dealing with the Myles Garrett of it all, but you're deliberately just you're going away from him. You are running away from him. I think honestly think Dallas was just fine offensively against Cleveland's defense. I think they were just okay. Like if you look at the success rate and the EPA of it all, like Dallas wasn't spectacular, but what they did do right was they capitalized on Cleveland's mistakes in the secondary, which is another point where I think um, I noticed a lot of Browns fans do not like Juan Thornhill, and that is a guy who I also was like, yeah, go after him, go
Mm-hmm.
after him in coverage. And then they did a good job of avoiding and mitigating Myles Garrett. So they're playing a rookie Tyler Guyton, and he got Tyler Guyton early, but then just chip help and double teams, and you just limit his impact on the game. So it's going to be a lot more of that, a lot more movement based than last time. And we'll see how Jim Schwartz adjusts to that, because he's probably seen that from every offensive game plan that he's ever seen with Myles Garrett.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume, right? He's used to people trying to adjust to him. While we have you here, let's hit on some other NFL topics. Who are the NFL teams you were just out on already? Week 1, you just like, all right,
Oh, let's
like,
start with the New York Football Giants. What the hell
wow.
was that?
Wow,
What was that?
you were excited to get that off, dog.
What was that? What happened? Like it wasn't as much the offense, because I knew the offense was going to be bad. But
The
this defense
defense, though.
is paying Brian Burns $150 million. Dexter Lawrence, who was phenomenal against the Vikings, like he had a 40% pressure rate, which is absurd for a defensive tackle, let alone a nose tackle. But the defensive line is supposed to be the strength of this defense, and they got ran the hell over by this Vikings team. I think Sam
Mm.
Darnold had so much time in the pocket outside of the Dexter Lawrence plays where he just crushed it. But this defense is bad. They are horrendous. The way they fit the run was terrible. And we haven't even gotten to the offense, which you you cannot play Daniel Jones anymore. He does not look confident. He doesn't look like he knows what he's doing. Every pass is a check down. And you can't even do oh, don't forget Daniel Jones can run, because now everybody knows Daniel Jones can run. So now everybody's ready for it because nobody else scares them outside of Malik Neighbors on this offense. And even
Hey,
Malik Neighbors he played good. But there were plays where he was open and the quarterback turns into a pumpkin. So I'm out on this team. I've been out on this team. They were one of the first teams I said when it came to 20 looking forward to 2025 and the QB draft. That's going to be the Giants.
It's Drew Lock time. I
cold.
can't wait. Drew
Hey,
Lock
Oh,
time.
JP.
Put that backpack on.
I give it like
Put that
3
backpack on.
I give it
Oh,
like
Drew Lock over there.
Oh yes, Drew
Oh
Lock
yeah.
legend.
Turn the
Legend.
GZ on.
Turn the Jeezy on. Jeezy will be there. Jeezy will be in the game. You know what's going
Uh-huh.
on. You
give
know
it
what's
like
going
3
on.
weeks before Drew Lock takes over that job.
It won't be much different, but it'll be different. Like,
It'll be more fun.
It won't be good. Look,
I don't know if it'll be more fun. I think it'll just be more fun because it's not Daniel Jones for like 2 weeks.
if you're going to be bad, you have to be fun.
Yeah.
You can't be bad and boring. And I
Hey,
think
Drew Lock
JP,
in. Put
I
that
gotta
book
ask
bag
you a
on.
question though. JP, I gotta ask you a question.
go
And
for it.
I'm glad our colleague James DeTore is not here. James Dater. I don't know how you pronounce his last name. I'm glad he's not here. How you feel about Bryce Young?
I have
Oh.
yet to go back and watch the film, but it just seems like all the muck around the Panthers is turning all of his flaws into gaping holes, and that's not sustainable long term. Like he's trying to make things happen that he did in college, but I don't think he is adjusting well to the fact that he is not the best athlete on the field. I think that
Yeah.
that is a big problem with Bryce Young and this Panthers team. I think it's going to take time. I think Dave Canales and this Panthers team, they need at least a few years. I don't think this is going to be I don't think they're going to go after a quarterback in 2025 because I think they're going to give Bryce one more year. And plus, his QB draft in 2025 is not that great. So I say they punt and go to 2026 when I think Nico Yamaleava from Tennessee might be eligible for the draft. I think there are some other like legit good ones that are going to be in that draft. And I think that's when the Panthers make their swing. But I think I'm less worried about the offense and more worried about the fact that Derek Carr was shit talking their best DB after he's thrown 3 touchdowns. Like you let the Saints score 47. The Saints don't even try offense. There was one point in the game where Alvin Kamara was lined up at receiver. Rashid Shaheed and Taysom Hill were in the backfield, and Jawan Johnson running in motion. Clint Kubiak is over there doing whatever, and the play went for like 6 yards. Like they just tried
Yes.
it,
That's
and the Saints was
egregious.
just like oh no, what am I supposed to do?
Like the Saints are gonna run that against somebody next week because they think it works.
Yeah, they think it worked because it worked against y'all.
They're like, hey, we got 6 out of this. Yeah, we
It's
block a little bit better. That could go.
The Panthers are every team's get right game. If you want to try something, try it against the Panthers. Put your receiver in the backfield against the Panthers. They might get 6 yards off of it. Play 2 quarterbacks at the same time. Do the Browns play the Panthers at all this year?
No, we don't.
No, they do not.
Unfortunately, we do not.
At
We
that
play
point,
next year though.
At that point, play Deshaun and Jameis on the field at the same time. You might throw a touchdown off of it because it's the Panthers. Like it is such a it's such a terrible thing to get styled on by Derek Carr. That man doesn't do any shit talking, and he's shit talking you after y'all let 47 go up on y'all. Like that's embarrassing.
Yeah, what were they saying to him?
I don't know what was said back and forth, but just off of poor lip reading, he looked at JC Horn and did this because he's thrown 3 touchdowns already, and 2 of them were on JC Horn.
Oh
Like,
man, that hurts. JC Horn, I thought he was gonna be so
come on,
good.
man. Like I think he is pretty good to good. It's just everything around that team is so bad. That roster is so barren and devoid of talent. And now that Derek Brown is out for the rest of the year, you have no line help. Your linebackers are kind of bleh, and your DBs outside of J.C. Horn are old or inexperienced. So
If
it's
you're
going,
Carolina, you get
it's
the
going to
number
go
one
wrong.
overall pick. What do you do?
Oh, if you get the number one overall pick, you take a quarterback.
Who they take?
Oh boy. I'm gonna ask for a rain check on that one because I don't know if I'm confident in any of these quarterbacks.
Nah, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do
Nah.
that. It's a
No,
name. Give
no,
us a
he's right.
name.
He's right. He's absolutely right. He's right. These quarterbacks. These,
What do
There's
you
Gun to your
mean?
head.
What do you mean, Curtis?
Gun to
I
your
heard Quinn
head. You get the
Ewers
number
is
one
the
overall.
guy.
no,
Gun
you
to your
did not
head.
hear that from me.
Gun to
any
your
quarterback
head.
that I am
You gotta
comfortable
take
taking. If I gotta
like
take from this
Hey,
draft class,
bro, is it possible to be like, you know what? I'll just see what Dylan Raiola is in 3 years and just farm him at Nebraska? Like, I'd rather do
yeah, put him
that.
in the minor leagues.
Like, just
Just put him
farm him.
on
He
whatever
come
lane.
play when he eligible. Like,
Yeah, just come on down. If I had to choose any quarterback from this 25 draft class, it would probably be Carson Beck because I I know that he can work within structure. He has a strong enough arm and he's confident over the middle of the field. Where I think Quinn Ewers, as well as he played against Michigan, that was the best game I think I've ever seen Quinn Ewers play at Texas. He still left a lot to be desired, throwing the ball downfield and throwing the ball to the edges of the field. He also does not throw over the middle of the field. If you look at his spray charts, I think Corey, who also does Brown's work, charted Quinn Ewers against Michigan, and the middle of the field is completely devoid. There's nothing there. He's not throwing over the middle of the field, and it is largely because Steve Sarkisian's offense is easy bake oven for QBs. You don't have to do anything complex. A lot of RPOs, a lot of if it's not there, you go here. If it's not here, you throw it away. And that's what Quinn Ewers did against Michigan. So I'm not in on Ewers yet. He has impressed me. But if I'm taking any quarterback first overall, it'll be Carson Beck. And even in that case, I would have a serious conversation about, hey, what if you just give Bryce Young one more year? Just give him more time and kind of build up that that outside of that roster because this draft class is going to be good everywhere
is it
else.
possible you could just be like, we start Jacoby Brissett, or you just go outside Jacoby Brissett or something like that, and just roll with it next year? Like, I feel like it sounds like a joke, but I'm like, bro, if you know that like Bryce Young, that's not going to do anything for you, you gotta like you gotta just do something else, but you don't gotta commit to another quarterback for the next 4 years by drafting him number one overall when you don't believe in him.
You
my
don't
thing
want
is
to force
this.
it.
Why
Yeah,
is Jacoby Brissett always the backup plan for
bro,
every
because he's the
team?
universal backup plan. Every year, Jacoby Brissett on a
Reliable.
different team playing good football for like 4 games, like
Super
every
reliable.
year.
He is the
Every,
greatest. He is the greatest relief pitcher in football.
that's what
He'll
I'm
come in and
saying,
he'll throw 4 good innings and bring in the closer.
bro.
He's the innings eater.
He is the perfect dude to have out there when you don't expect him to start the whole season. Like that,
Mm-hmm.
that is Jacoby Brissett's role. He's been doing it. He did that in Miami before Tua came in. He did that in Cleveland before Deshaun came in. He did that last year, and then they put Sam Howell in, and then they took him out, and then put Sam Howell back in. And then what you doing right now? Drake may go come in week 8. They gonna get a little worse for a little bit, and then they gonna get better, right? Like that's kind of what you do. And if I'm the Panthers, I'm like, you know what, man? We'll just let Bryce Young unlearn some habits for 8 weeks and bring in Jacoby Brissett. It's worth it.
Just let him sit for a little bit. I think the biggest thing is they have to create an offense that's sustainable around him if they want him to work. I think the best offense for him, sustainability wise, is you just got to RPO it. Just turn everything into an RPO. Go full Miami Dolphins with it. Just let him be a point guard. Point and shoot. Tell him where to go, and if it's not there, just hand the ball off. Because that's what he was good at Alabama. He's such a good point and shoot player. But now you're asking him to sit in the pocket and throw downfield when he just those habits have not translated over yet. So I'm worried about Bryce Young, but I'm more worried that this offensive talent and the core around him is going to continue to drag his development down.
What do you take from the relative low passing numbers we've seen from week one this year and the larger overall trend that we've seen over the last couple of years?
Running that damn ball is back.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy. I'm so glad we're getting rid of all the super passing, all the Shanahan, McVay, West Coast bullshit. No, run the ball. And I think that's something that even Sean McVay has gotten into. Like he is blending more of the run game in. And like for a serious answer, I think it's largely a couple of things. So the two high defenses, obviously, the two high shells, limiting explosives. You cannot throw the ball deep with two defenders back there. And now you're forcing offenses to either eat their vegetables with the quick passing game, with the RPO, which is what Kansas City does, or you just beat them over the head with the run game. And I would lean more towards the run game because the other aspect of this is everybody's playing a 220-pound linebacker. Everybody's playing a 230-pound linebacker. Just hit them in the face. Like it's everybody thinks playing like a small linebacker. Everybody wants to play a safety at linebacker until that safety has to fit the run against a 330-pound guard. So I think we're getting more into gap scheme runs. We're getting into
Mm.
more power football. And that's where I think passing has become less efficient. And I also think just playing quarterback in the NFL is hard. Like I was watching Bo Nix, and I was watching some of the rookie quarterbacks over the past couple of days, and playing quarterback is hard, especially with how much simulated pressures and bringing guys that weren't supposed to be there and dropping guys that were there is rising in the NFL. It's really hard to diagnose all of that and still throw the ball within 3 seconds. So
Yep.
I think a lot of that and a lot of QB development, I guess you want to call it the golden age of QBs. Those guys either are already in the league or have retired. Like, we're getting to a point where a new era of quarterbacks is coming in and development is still taking time. So it's a lot of factors, but mainly teams should start running that damn ball.
The drought's back. Like, remember when I think it was from '04 to like 2017 when Pat Mahomes was drafted? There were like such a small number of really good quarterbacks that entered the league in between that point. And I think we get into these trends with quarterback where like, oh, it's going to go on forever, right? We're going to have three quarterbacks like 2020. They got four quarterbacks, five quarterbacks got paid in that 2020 draft. And you think, oh, it's always going to happen like that. And sometimes we try to force it, like when they drafted Kenny Pickett in the first round, just because they felt like somebody needed to go in the first round. And I think this year was an example of like a lot of teams being like, well, look what happened in that draft class. We can make it happen in this draft class. Let's go take Bo Nix 12th overall. Let's go take Michael Penix here. And kind of like make these decisions that you probably wouldn't make if you were more sober. And I don't know. I think a lot of things feed into it. I think the league being such a copycat league to like the extreme that it is now, where like literally something works, they get to a conference championship game, and then like it's like crazy dick riding, like what coaches would do, and then and the whole league basically starts doing one thing, and then it's like the first person to be like, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do something else. They're probably gonna get something there.
And like the craziest thing is like last year when the Dolphins used that little cheat motion where Tyreek
Mm-hmm.
Hill would run out real fast, everybody started using that by week 4, and then by week 8, all the defenses found a counter to it because there are no new ideas in this league.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody comes from the same trees. Everybody comes from the same like you're either running a Shanahan offense, a McVay offense, or some Andy Reid style offense. And the defenses are kind of the same way. You're either running a Fangio scheme,
Mm-hmm.
running like the Gus Bradley cover 3 style, or you're running the Robert Saleh, like the 49ers 4 3/4 base defense. Like it's part of the reason why I think Mike McDonald and some of his defensive branches like Jesse Minter and Anthony Weaver are doing such a good job is because nobody has seen it in a while. There are no new ideas in the NFL, but it's just been so long since they've seen them that it's like, oh, what are we supposed to do to break these tendencies? What are we supposed to do against these things? And
Mm-hmm.
there are no new ideas in the NFL. And I think that's part of the NFL's fault because everybody wants to hire guys from the same tree because
They
they
want to
want,
do the trend,
yeah, they
right?
want whatever they want whoever's closest to Kyle Shanahan, or they want whoever's closest to Sean McVay. Like that's why Cliff Kingsbury got hired as a head coach because
Like
he had coffee with Sean McVay.
when you think about the league 10 years ago or even 20 years ago, and you look at it now, like it feels like there were way more identities that teams would have on a week to week basis, and now it's like, oh, they're one of those teams that do that now, right? Like they're like one of those teams that they're kind of like this team, and it's when you go up week to week and you're preparing for the same three offenses and the same three defenses, it's going to be really easy to make it. It's like it's like every week you're playing a division opponent. You're like, oh yeah, I know what they do, right? And it's like it's going to be so much easier for the defense to catch up to that. And yeah, I think it's going to take people being willing to be different, like, and just kind of stick with it and not really fall into all these trends. But it's just one of those things I've noticed over the last few years where it's like, yeah, man, it's always been a copycat league. You've always been willing to copy things, but the rate and the efficiency of the copying has gotten crazy. Like it's
Everybody
unsustainable.
goes on vacation. Everybody goes on vacation together. Like everybody going to each other's weddings. Everybody's
Mm-hmm.
sharing ideas at coaching clinics, but there's nothing new. You're not going to a Division III college in Idaho to learn how to run a three safety defense. You're not going to
You're not accidentally discovering read option at a practice because somebody fumbles it.
you're not creating anything new, and that's really hard to create something new in football because everything has been like there's nothing new under the sun. But I
Mm-hmm.
think with the NFL, like there's no creativity. There's no, well, not no creativity. There's no variation of different schemes. Like everybody, like I said, everybody runs Shanahan McVay offense, but it's going to take somebody and a coaching staff and a front office who has some time and is willing to give the coach time to bring in truly something different to the NFL.
It's like kind of like with movies where it's like a bunch of like a bunch of sequels. Nobody's doing anything new. Cole, you got anything else?
Uh, well, you asked him, you asked JP here, what teams that he was out on already. So I want to ask you, what team are you not sure about yet?
Um, uh, I'm going to hesitantly say the Bengals. And the Bengals are a weird team. They never treat week one serious. And you could tell offensively they were not serious about playing in week one. Joe Burrow did not care about being out there on the field. He was just 1, 2, 3, check down. 1, 2, 3, check down. Oh, here's a hope ball to Jamar Chase. 1, 2, 3, check down. Like they just want to get off the field. I'm less worried about the offense because I know the offense will figure itself out. That defense is a problem. When you give up 100-something rush yards to the Patriots, and I didn't think the Patriots offensive line was that great coming in. And it's just they just missed a lot of tackles. Like they missed so many tackles, but I also think they missed that true interior presence of a DJ Reader. They missed having a
Mm,
true nose tackle.
mm.
So I am unsure about the Bengals, and I'm also unsure about the Jets. But it's not for the reason that I thought it would be coming into the season. I thought I would be unsure about the Jets because you're playing a 41-year-old at quarterback. I'm now unsure about the Jets because that defensive line does not have the same caliber of dudes that it has had last year. San Francisco did whatever they wanted, and it was kind of jarring to see. So you wonder, like, is Hassan Reddick right? Like, is Hassan Reddick actually going to win this thing? Because they kind of need him now. And they just miss having that edge, that physicality on the outside especially in the run game, to get teams in those obvious passing situations. So those are two teams I'm really kind of unsure about at this point.
I just want to go on. I want to go on the record and say that I've been telling JP for about 2 years now. The Bengals defense is not good.
I I wanted to. I've believed in them for the past couple of years because DJ Reader kind of masked a lot of the run game issues. But now that you built this defense out of
That
all,
safety, it's like the safeties have just fallen off a cliff for them.
Yeah, it's like I told them yesterday about, the defense not being good. It's like when I watched their film earlier this morning, it was like, dude, their run fits are terrible. Like I've never seen it before. And I was getting into arguments with Bengal fans on Twitter. They were saying, "Oh, our defense is fine." I'm like, no, it's not. So, it's good that my agenda is starting to finally come full circle. Maybe they'll actually listen to me for a change.
you can fix run fits, but you cannot fix tackling. Like tackling is a want to. And those dudes did not want to tackle Ramondre Stevenson yesterday or on Sunday. So that's something that I'm going to be looking out further with the Bengals defense this year, especially in the run game, because if you cannot stop the run with your interior defense, which they tried to replace DJ Reader with a bunch of three techniques, which in this defense, you need a nose tackle. You need a nose tackle really bad to help shore up everything against the run because everything is so downhill. But you think about the teams that they play next, they play the Chiefs. I mean, they play the Commanders and Panthers, but then the Ravens, and they got the Browns, and they get the Browns hopefully when Chubb and Njoku are back. So they'll lean more into the run game. So I really just want to see how they defend the run going forward before I can say, yeah, I'm in on this team.
He did not defend the run well last year because he got injured, about 6 weeks in? And they
Yeah.
would look like, yeah, so that my thing about Cincinnati is that offense has never been as they're good, they have good players, but they don't produce at the same clip that you would expect when they have what you would assume is a top 5 quarterback and a top 5 receiver. They've always been stop and start on offense. And it's really been, I think, and you look at their 2 conference championship runs, about the strength of that defense. And if you look at the games that they won, a lot of it was like, hey, the defense really showed up big time in these games. And I just wonder, what is Cincinnati if their defense is not playing at a high level? Like, do we notice these cracks in the offense? Do we notice that they do have these periods where they just kind of go cold offensively, and they're not getting bailed out by good defensive play?
I think they're still trying to figure out what they're going to be offensively because Zach Taylor is a McVay guy. He wants to be an 11 personnel, get under center,
Mm-hmm.
run stuff. But Joe Burrow has either been hurt or does not want to. Joe Burrow is a shotgun quarterback. He
Yeah.
wants to see everything. He wants to have all the control at the line of scrimmage. So I wonder, and I want to know how much they're going to blend that into this offense, how much they're going to blend the run game, because you can't really do a lot of fun stuff from the run at a shotgun with a non-mobile quarterback. You're
And
going to like Falcons.
I just look at how different Joe Mixon looked like playing for the Texans last week
Yeah, I
versus
mean,
how he's looked the last 3 years in Cincinnati. I'm like, oh, the run game issues. It might just always be they're gonna have somebody there at like 4 yards to carry, 3.8, no matter who it is, because it's really just a bottleneck on how they play it versus who that player is. Because like if that was what Joe Mixon was this whole time, then I don't know what they're gonna do with Zach Moss.
And to be fair to that offense on Sunday, they were a couple of weird plays away from still like being in contention and or winning that game. The fumble on the goal line, it was a heck of a play by Kyle Duggar, and New England picked that up. But
Mm-hmm.
those small plays where it's like, oh, like that's weird. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. But some of the stuff was just they didn't look like they wanted to be out there in week one. They treat week one like week four of the preseason. And whether that is a good thing or not, it's going to cloud a lot of people's judgment. But they have shown that they have gotten it cleaned up. by the middle to end of the season. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt for now, offensively. But defense, you cannot trick me. I know who you are. I know what you are.
Is Baker Mayfield the best quarterback in Florida? We'll leave on that.
Oh God, here we go. Here we go.
He is not, but he is playing with the most confidence. That dude is playing with a whole lot of confidence, and the Bucks have built an offense that is accentuated to its strengths, which is he is really good at throwing to the edges of the field. He can hammer out routes, corner routes, sail routes. He's good at throwing the deep ball, but he's not good at throwing over the middle of the field. And the Bucks don't ask him to. So they just dress it up really well. I think Liam Cohen did a really nice job yesterday, and they even left some points on the board. Like they could have easily had like 50 points, which you could take that as, oh, it's week 1, and 2, the Commanders might have the worst defense in football, but they looked really impressive. So I was impressed by them. They got a big game this week against the Lions. So I'm really intrigued to see what they look like and if they can still hammer those outbreaking routes.
All right, JP. Think we took enough of your time. Appreciate you for being on. We talked about everything. Oh, what you got?
Hold on. Real quick before JP goes, you're not gonna get us out of here before we talk about this. Hey, JP,
don't do it.
So Q got to watch anime. He's decided to watch anime now, right? Right. He decided to watch it, and he tried to get us out of here before we could address this. I knew he was gonna try to do that, but it's okay. I'm here. We're not gonna let him do it.
I was just trying to let the man go on with the rest of his day. You know, he was giving us.
You can't fool me. Talk to the man about some anime real quick before we get out of here. Come on.
We watch it.
Let me pull up the list. What I'm supposed to be watching.
We watch. I'm curious.
All right, I'm supposed to be watching. Damn, I lost the list, Cole.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
That's crazy.
We can get a new list together right now.
We can create one right now. We got time.
We got time. We get a whole new list right now.
I lost the list. That's not. I think it's like what Full Metal Alchemist, like the spinoff or some shit like that.
Brotherhood.
Brotherhood.
Alchemist Brotherhood.
Yeah, I'm supposed to watch that. And then I'm supposed to watch like up to 12 episodes of of that season, right? Because I think we capped it at like I'm not watching no 20 episode season. What else was there? Do you remember though, Cole, for real?
I know it was Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I think the second one we decided on, it wasn't Jujutsu, was it? Because I don't think we agreed on Jujutsu. I don't think it was that.
I don't see myself agreeing to that.
What was the second one we agreed to? We got to remember this before I start listening to this Chance the Rapper, these Chance the Rapper albums I don't like and I don't want to listen to.
I should have made it the Christmas out.
You should have, but you didn't. So it's okay.
I just didn't want to torture you that much, you know. Like I felt like a Chance the Rapper. Have you ever listened to the Chance the Rapper Christmas album, JP?
No, I don't plan on it. I'm good. I will pass.
You not in on that. What about you, Curtis? You've listened to it?
I listened to one song and I wanted to literally. It was god awful. No, never again.
Sound like he ruined Christmas.
Why did that man decide to make a Christmas album?
Man, he's made a lot of decisions I'm not entirely sure about.
Hey, like the
new music sounds good though. The new music sounds good.
I know he got that beef with his manager, but like I feel like it's getting slid under the radar that man released the Christmas album, and I feel like the manager had something to do with it. Like,
that's a good enough reason to have beef. That's a good enough reason to have beef.
Yeah. Well, apparently the manager didn't like Big Day. I think that's what that's about too. And like Chance was like super insistent on keeping it exactly how it was. Oh, found it. Classroom of the Elite.
Okay.
Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood and Jujutsu Kaisen.
Oh, so we did put Jujutsu on there. Okay.
Jujutsu Kaisen, perfect.
Okay,
right. Yeah. What streaming platforms are all these on? Are these all on
Crunchyroll, man? Yeah.
Jujutsu
Bro,
Kaisen's
see,
on
this is
Netflix.
unfair because he don't got to get a new fucking music subscription to listen to Chance the Rapper, but I gotta
Jujutsu
pay,
Kaisen's on Netflix.
huh?
Jujutsu Kaisen's on Netflix.
I guess
Full
I'll
Metal
start with
Alchemist,
that.
Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood should be on Netflix too.
It's also on Netflix.
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
so
no
I really
excuses.
got no excuse.
No excuses.
No excuses. No excuses. See?
What
You see
what about
you see
Classroom
what
with the
Q trying to
Elite?
do? You see what Q trying to do? You see what he
Is
trying
that
to do?
I don't
on?
know
Is
if
that
it's
on?
on Netflix. Let me check.
That one's on Crunchyroll for sure.
Yeah, I'll have to wait till they all on Netflix. You know.
See what I'm saying? See how you trying to get out of this? Oh man.
I'm gonna start with Jujutsu Kaisen if it's on Netflix. I'm gonna watch an episode tonight.
That's a great one. Great one to start with.
When he becomes a Gojo stan, it's gonna be the most hilarious pod we ever do.
Excuse me, sir.
So I got my girlfriend into anime, and she loves Demon Slayer. We started with Demon Slayer, and we binged like the first 3 seasons. So she's hooked now. Like she's almost caught up to the point where, because she said she wanted to go watch the movies. So I'm like, okay, we'll just binge the season. And now we're almost at the end of season 3.
You'll get there, Q. We'll get you there eventually.
We're gonna get him there. We're gonna get him there.
I
don't know
did
how.
watch 2 episodes of that Rick and Morty anime, and
why would you watch that?
it was on HBO Max. I was like,
No.
it's Rick and Morty. I might like it.
You know what I can't wait for? I can't wait till Q starts watching One Piece.
Oh, come on. No,
Q,
never gonna
Q,
happen,
no,
dog.
no.
I've heard there's like
no,
800
no.
episodes to that, dog. Like
It's like 1,200. It's like 1,200.
It's like 1,200.
We need to get this man to watch Chainsaw Man. Like I'm telling you,
Stop
cinema.
with the Chainsaw Man, Curtis.
I'm gonna
it's
put
not
that
happening,
I'm
Curtis.
putting that on you.
It's not happening. I am not watching that.
I want to see greatness.
Chainsaw Man. I don't even want to know what a Chainsaw Man look like. Okay, like let me ease into this before you start throwing Chainsaw Man on me. Like,
You're just a regular person. You just don't want to see greatness.
That is a lie. You know it is a lie. Why would you tell him that lie?
Don't do that. Don't do that. Let him find it out.
He is not a regular
why y'all
person
see?
at
Look,
all.
this is why I can't trust Curtis on this because Curtis be trying to set traps. Curtis be trying to set traps. Like,
not a normal person. Nobody
he
in that
called
show.
Chainsaw Man. You that's not a nickname you get when you normal. A normal person JP's nickname is JP. That's a normal person nickname. If I called him Chainsaw Man, I wouldn't expect a normal person. Like, yeah, it's Chainsaw Man.
Nobody in that show is normal. Kaiju number 8 is really good. I recommend that one. There's only 12 episodes. The show just started. So
yeah. Kaiju number 8. Yeah, I might check it out. Is it on Netflix?
No, it's not on Netflix. It's on Crunchyroll.
Crunchyroll. Why do y'all allow anime to get monopolized like this?
Because it's fun, man. You just don't like fun.
No, I'm just saying the delivery method. Can't none of this shit be on Hulu.
I got Hulu. Talking about Hulu.
Blue Lock is really good. It's about soccer, but them motherfuckers are negative. They do not like each other.
What's Death Note on? Is that on Netflix?
It should be, yeah. It should still be on Netflix.
Yeah, man. Everybody, the youth is crazy into anime, by the way.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's nuts. It's crazy how much I lost this battle.
I lost.
Culturally, the non-anime people got cooked. Like, DSL got introduced and y'all won. Like, it's crazy. Like,
hey man, we tried to tell y'all it is what it is. We'll get you watching Bleach eventually. We'll get you there.
Lost the war. It's rappers that be rapping about anime now. Like, it's cooked. It's cooked. There is no safe haven for a non-anime watcher in these days. It's Dubfo. Kung Fu did hit black folk harder in the 70s than anime's hitting it right now. Like, it just did it.
You know what? I bet you if anime was still around back in the 70s, you'd be watching anime too.
Man, the Wu-Tang Clan would have been so different. It'd have been
so
different. It's so different.
But that would just be...
They'd be calling themselves the Acosta or something. I promise you.
Oh,
I promise you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man.
Like
Like
a red cloud. Instead of the yellow W, it's just a red cloud.
Man.
I just remember how hard Kung Fu was hitting when I was younger, and it's like it ain't nothing. It ain't got nothing to how anime got y'all grip. Hey, shout out to the Japanese, man. They did it. They did it.
I mean, y'all did it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all did it.
I forget I'm Japanese sometimes. I was like, y'all did it. See, that's why they would have got mad if I started making them jokes during the Olympics. Like, but yeah, man. Shout out. It is amazing that I have resisted this long. Honestly, part of me wants to resist to keep up the effort because like it's been 30 years of fighting, the good fight. You know? I've been to the motherland multiple times and have avoided watching anime. Like it is crazy.
Why you fighting? You ain't gotta fight. You don't gotta fight anymore.
The fact that you fight in this battle is actually the craziest part of all of it, bro. Like,
Exactly.
why are you fighting?
I'm just used to it. Same reason why everybody fight battles. You just used to fight the battle. Like,
this is not a winnable battle for you. You will not win this, no matter how hard you try.
Hey, bro, look, here's the difference. I fight battles I know I'm going to lose because I have too much pride, Curtis. Okay, that is what this is about.
That is the perfect anime comparison. Everybody in anime fights and losing battles because of pride.
Bro, I get beat by 21 online on Madden or college football. I stay in that bitch. I'm not about to quit. You gonna have to play the whole 4 quarters to beat me, dog. That's just what it is. I'll lose, but I'm not about to quit.
Man. The one man with Japanese ancestry fighting this fight is the craziest.
It might be the half Japanese ancestry that's making me fight this fight, bro. I don't know how much you know about the West. Not folding, okay? Like real stubborn, and I'm a Taurus. Hey man, this is gonna be what it is. I'm trying.
Oh man,
this is me working on it. Like,
the people gonna appreciate the end of this.
I'll be working on it. I'm realizing the older I get and the more I interact with other people, especially like normal people, just how stubborn I could be. Like, and I'm like, damn, dog, it's crazy. I be trying though. I be trying not to be so stubborn. But then Curtis bring up Chainsaw Man, and I backslide into like 10 years ago on stubbornness because Curtis want me to watch Chainsaw Man. It's the same thing that made me not watch Game of Thrones, by the way. Like,
yeah, don't watch Game of Thrones. Don't watch Game of Thrones.
Hey, bro, I'm good on
watch
it. You never had to stop me. Some dude with the nose piercing tried to make me watch it in college, and I didn't like him. So I was like, you know what? I'm not watching Game of Thrones.
I can tell you didn't like him because you referred to him as dude with the nose piercing. Like, you clearly did not like this man.
Seems like a nice enough dude, but our interactions was always bad. I'm just like, hey, bro, like, not about to watch nothing you recommend to me. Like, you do not doing yourself a service.
Was it bad because he recommended you Game of Thrones, or was it bad because of anything else that happened outside of it?
Nah, this motherfucker came to me talking about like cauliflower rice.
What is wrong with you?
What is wrong with you? You really are an anime character. You really are an anime character.
You're an anime character.
What
over cauliflower rice?
He had a really strong opinion about it.
You're an anime character, bro. You're an anime character. You just are.
He had a super strong opinion about it. I wasn't really here to it. Like, I was like, okay. And he kept like he wouldn't let me eat my rice. Like he just kept trying to get me to try it.
With dude with the nose ring because he tried to get you to eat cauliflower rice.
Man, it was the wrong day. Like
Hey man, you might be. I'm trying to think of a comparison in anime. You might be Vegeta. I don't know.
I just remember
like
the
with,
instant thought. Like he tried to get me to eat this cauliflower rice. I'm like, what the
it's
fuck
like
about me
when,
makes you think I want cauliflower rice
it's
right
like
now?
when Broly said Goku wouldn't stop crying, and that's what made him want to kill him 30 years later.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. There we go.
This is the most trivial thing ever. You just said dude with the nose ring.
Oh yeah, no, like my beefs are usually started on small things like this. Like I don't really carry very many beefs, but the ones I do carry, like one dude, I was in a communal kitchen for a play, and we had our food there because we all lived on the play. It was like in the middle of Ohio, and I had like this chicken in my spot on the fridge, and homie moved my chicken to the freezer. I had to get restrained. Like, I had to be restrained.
You are literally Vegeta, dog.
It is. It is like it's not consistent what has set me off, but it's like, bruh, that right there, I was like, that I can't forgive it. I still can't forgive it. Like,
the Prince of all Saiyans will
you
not
gonna
allow
touch
you
my
to
chicken? Like it's crazy, dog. Like you gonna move my stuff to the freezer? Now I gotta thaw it. Like, nah, I'm still mad about it. Like,
You are an anime character.
I was mad at my sister for like 10 years because she ate my cheesecake that was for my birthday while she stayed home from school sick. I was so mad about that for so long.
How dare you eat the Prince of all Saiyans cheesecake?
Hey, bro, if I feel like there's a rule in place that everybody should follow, it don't gotta be said and you break it, bro. Like, nah, I can't go back on that. Why you doing this right here?
This is generational levels of grudge holding. Like holding on to something with such a strength, holding on to something this small.
Cheesecake?
Right?
Hey, wait, hold on now. Wait, stop. You calling the cheesecake small?
Yes.
Bro, you're not supposed to eat somebody's birthday cheesecake. And you definitely not supposed to eat cheesecake while you home from school sick. I feel like
I feel like that's something I would definitely do.
y'all must be youngest childs or only childs. I can't. Were you
homesick? I'm absolutely eating cheesecake while I'm at home sick.
Were you an only child, JP?
No, I'm the oldest of 5.
Oh, this is just unforgivable, JP.
What?
I'm just saying.
You just gonna eat everybody? That's crazy. You cannot do that. You stay home from school. You eat fucking soup. That's it. You got to do sick people stuff. You not going to school. You can't be out here eating dessert when you ain't at school.
I can eat dessert. Because then all you gotta do is fake like you feel a little better. You get a little cheesecake, and then you're good.
That's insane.
And you know what? If they wanted to eat some cheesecake, they should just get sick too. Which in the next few days with my family, if somebody got sick, everybody was getting sick. So everybody got cheesecake in the end.
I will say this. I'm not gonna get mad at something and hold a grudge about it now. But the grudges that I did hold back then, they do get grandfathered in. Like, I'm not about to get mad because somebody bring up like cauliflower rice to me right now. Like,
that's not how this works, Q. That's not how that's supposed to work.
Like, if Cole did something along those, if Cole did something that like was like on that same level of annoying, I wouldn't hate Cole. I'd be like, you know what? It don't make me mad no more. But if I felt that feeling in like 2016, yeah, it's gonna stay. Like,
why?
Hey, brother, it's never been rectified. Like, there's no reason for it. It's just there.
You never gonna see this man again in your life.
It's not even regular rice. Cauliflower rice.
What's the problem? What's the point?
I feel like he knew we shouldn't be talking about that at this point. Like, he knew.
It's the most insane thing I've ever heard.
He knew he ain't know me well enough to talk about that.
Hey, we talking about no cauliflower.
Bro, it's
Get
2
the
o'clock. Why are you bringing up cauliflower rice?
Get to the dining hall, and there's one rule posted on the board: no talking about cauliflower rice.
Yeah, like that's a 5 o'clock discussion. You know, like that's not a discussion you have
You are insane.
during my break at work. Let's come on, dog.
This is going crazy.
We're on break. Oh,
Hey, look, I'm just telling you who I was. Okay.
There's so many other things to do than stew on the fact that this man tried to recommend cauliflower rice to you on your break.
I don't stew on it every day. Y'all brought up why I don't like Game of Thrones, and I told you why.
The reason you don't like Game of Thrones stems from the fact that this dude tried to offer you cauliflower rice. Like, because of that, you are not watching any
It started
shows.
a chain of events, JP, right? So he tried to offer me the cauliflower rice against my will, and then he followed that up with the movie, with a TV suggestion against my will. And then he kept talking about Game of Thrones every time I saw him. Like, I watch it. You know I don't watch it. He know I don't eat cauliflower rice, but he's still out here asking me if I ate cauliflower rice and watch Game of Thrones. Nah, I ain't doing it.
How is it against your will? You said no.
I'm just telling you who I was. Like,
I just need you to understand
like,
how fucking crazy this sounds.
hey, bro. I admit it. It does sound nuts. We all got stuff like that. I'm just
I don't know
admitting
if we
it.
do, bro. I don't know if we do.
I really don't.
If you think about it, you got some shit that you've held on to that don't make no
You are
sense.
on an island by yourself.
Nah, man.
This is the hill. If you're gonna die on this hill, you are dying alone.
Look, I have changed. I am not holding grudges like this anymore. Let me make that clear. I do not hold grudges like this anymore. But if it happened before I changed, dog, it's just gonna be there. Like,
Hey, man, you need to go to therapy. You need to go to therapy, bro. You need to talk about it.
Would you at least eat cauliflower rice now, or is this
I've
just
eaten cauliflower rice like since then, and I liked it. Like,
What are you doing? What is going on?
I had it on a Chipotle bowl when they was doing it. Yeah, it wasn't that bad. I thought about switching to it permanently because I lost a lot of like calories on my food bowl count like that. But I wasn't trying to hear that shit in 2015. Like, it wasn't there for me. He caught me on the wrong day. You know what? I'll let it go. I'll let y'all convince me. Okay, I'll let it go. I'm letting all my beefs go from earlier in my life, including my sister eating that cheesecake.
You clearly not let this go.
Hey, including Curtis moving my chicken while we was on set, you know, like to the freezer. I'm gonna let it go.
Wait, his name was Curtis?
Yeah, his name was Curtis, and that's why I was so hesitant on him. Yeah,
that's why he treat you like that, Curtis.
Yeah. I was like, he might be he might be the dude.
Now you know that little extra anger he had whenever you suggest change on there.
I noticed
We know where it comes from. We know where it's coming from now.
Like, what happened to this show in the last?
We know what happened. We know where it came from. We know where it came from.
No, Curtis, I'm not harboring those feelings against you, man.
You don't gotta lie.
Nah, Curtis. The feelings I harbor against you is when we did the mock draft. I still think about that every day. We did this mock. Were you there, JP? When we did the mock draft?
No, he wasn't there. It was
Corey was there.
Oh, it was Corey. Yeah, we did a mock draft, and then we took a tight end. We all agreed on this tight end, and then the second after that pick goes in, Curtis talk about some. Yeah, I would have took him there. That's a horrible pick. Why ain't you say nothing? You was on the committee.
He's getting his piece ready to say to the Athletic after
It's like, what you trying to get up out of here? Like,
he's trying to build himself the lifeboat.
With one dude on the Giants, what was it, the Giants Hard Knocks, off-season Hard Knocks, where it was like there was one guy clearly making it sure that he was not going down with these decisions.
Curtis gonna be the anonymous quote to the Athletic.
Hey man, what's
Sure
it mean?
Hey, Q just pounding the table for this tight end. It wasn't nothing I could do about it. You know what I'm saying?
This is crazy. We agreed on this pick.
Hey, we definitely get fired if Curtis on the team.
And the next thing we know, Curtis gonna talk Jimmy Haslam into hiring him. And we like, what happened, Curtis?
Why y'all on me?
Yeah. See, I'm not the one that needs to fix my flaws. It's Curtis. Thank y'all for that. And you know what? On that note, we'll end today's show.
Wait a minute. That was a crazy pivot.
Exactly.
Same pivot. Hey, we got to tell everybody, you have to watch the last 30 minutes. Because this is just insane.
And you know what, Curtis? Man. In the spirit of today's show, I'm going to let it go. See? Look, I'm going to let it go. I forgive you, Curtis.
Why lie? You're going to bring it up about two months.
No, I'm not going to bring it up no more. You know what? We're going to make it a rule. This is the last time, because it can't get funnier than this. Like, we have squeezed all the funny out of this. This is the last time it's going to be funny. We done got it. It's fun. I'm good, Curtis. And I apologize if I made fun of it too much to you, you know? So we good now. We good. See, look, I'm forgiven. I'm letting go of my grudges. I'm not going to hold on to this for years. Trust me.
We'll check back in next week.
Yeah.
Wow.
We'll check back in.
Wow. Y'all just think I just be holding grudges, son.
You told us you could be holding grudges.
You just named 3 separate grudges. It's not just holding
from my youth, yes. No,
it's 3 completely different grudges.
So y'all telling me right now, I'm the only person in this Zoom call that got mad at somebody over something small and held on for it for more than a year?
Yes.
Come on.
No, it's damn near a decade for some of these with you. You gotta let this shit go, bro.
What's that verse say? You need to leave that at the altar of the Lord. You need to let that go.
I need to go into one of the boxes. I need to do a confessional.
Hey, you know what? He said, carry all your burdens and leave them with me.
Hey,
you need to leave all the grudges.
I'm trying to think. I don't got any more grudges. That's all the grudges I got. Yeah, that's all the grudges. I'm trying to think. I did used to hold a lot of grudges. I'm not gonna lie. Nah, I let go of all my grudges. See, it's that easy.
Oh man.
Any other criticisms of my general personality y'all would like to get off right now?
No, I think we got it.
Y'all got it. Y'all got it. JP, you got any more?
Cauliflower rice. The smallest shit.
Oh man,
it was 2014, man. Cauliflower rice was new. I was like, what the fuck are you even talking about? I didn't even know it existed.
Fine. It's if it's small, I don't know what that is. But you held a grudge for a decade over some cauliflower rice.
You had to be there. But you know what? My bad. my bad, dude with the nose ring.
You had to be there.
You had to be there. It ain't gonna make no sense how I explain it. But you know what? My bad, dude with the nose ring who worked at YSU for a summer. I'll let it go.
Hey,
hope you do well.
The funniest outcome of all of this is he is a subscriber to this channel.
I don't think he is. He didn't strike me as a sports guy.
Comment. We need your thoughts. And do you
all you're
still
gonna
eat
do
cauliflower rice?
is encourage a bunch of random people in the comment section to be like, I'm the dude that argued with Quincy about this. I know who he is. Okay. We still
Sound like
follow
letting
each
go
other
of
on
a grudge.
Instagram.
This doesn't sound like letting go of a grudge.
I know who he is.
No, the way you said it was, I know who he is. Like
Oh,
that
oh my God.
that sounds like it's inciting for violence. This sounds like you have looked up this man and know where he lives.
We followed each other when we was in the program. Like, I ain't changed my Instagram since. I'll be on Instagram that much. But, if I go on there every once in a while, I see him, well, this dude.
Nah, man. Nah, you have absolutely not let this go.
I have let it go. I have.
This is graduating to like light Yagami levels of generational grudges.
Oh man, when you watch Death Note, you'll understand.
When I watch Death Note, that is very presumptuous of you. If this is what the anime community is about, then I don't know if I want to join. It seems like y'all really hang on to stuff in the anime community for a long time.
At this point, I feel like anime would be therapeutic for you at this point.
Exactly. It would benefit you.
I think you need it at this point.
Oh yeah.
You could be like, damn, it's me.
Wow.
Chicken soup for the soul.
Came in thinking I'm about to preview the Browns Jags game, ended up getting an intervention. Wow.
I think that might be the title. Come for the Browns and Jags preview. Stay for the Q intervention.
Well, Curtis, have fun making this thumbnail. I definitely ain't making it. Y'all have a great day. Are we good? We got anything else?
No, we're good.
We good.
Everything good? We good? Cole, are you good?
I'm good. Man. Are you good? That's the real question.
I'm straight. I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay.
Next, so what about you, Curtis? Are you good? Are you
I'm good. I'm good. I'm worried about you.
Why are you worried about me?
After the last 30 minutes, I am worried, but I know you good. I know you good. I hope. I pray.
You pray.
Yes, I pray.
That is dire straits.
That's wild. That is wild, Curtis.
We gotta get the Lord involved, unfortunately.
We gotta call God in because I ain't forgive some dude for cauliflower rice like 10 years ago. We wow.
I feel like it's a good time.
Well, I might be aware now that I do hold on to grudges for maybe not righteous reasons. And, I'll be more aware to let go of those grudges going forward. What about you, JP? Hey, we good there?
I'm good.
You got a good time?
I just hope whoever shows you cauliflower rice also brings some weapons and defenses for whatever happens after.
We good, bruh. I'm good. You know what? I might send him the end of this show. He might get a kick out of it. But yeah. This has been Q and Cole. Appreciate y'all for watching. Seriously though, appreciate JP for coming on, talking ball with us. Appreciate you for talking some anime and talking life, long show. I feel like our viewers are going to enjoy this. About an hour, 49 minutes of good times. We talked about the 2014 draft. We talked about a bunch of things. Cole, anything before we head out?
Hey, man, make sure y'all like. Make sure y'all watch. Make sure y'all comment, man. We love the comments. We love hearing y'all thoughts on what we're doing. And, man, we hope y'all have a good week. And hopefully we got some good things to talk about after the Browns play.
Well, some of us, look, if the Browns have something good to talk about, wonder if JP gonna want to come back on for that. JP,
probably not.
Browns win. You want to come back on?
Browns win. I will be launching myself off of the Epcot ball.
Deshaun throws for 350.
Like, that's the one thing that is
hey,
not.
Man. Hey, man, Deshaun throwing for 350. The jokes I'm setting to JP are going to be diabolical.
Hey, if Deshaun throws for 350, JP, you got to be on here. You got to come back.
Deshaun throws for 350. I'm going up to Jacksonville myself and demanding a change.
You're gonna be standing in front of that stadium.
You know that photo of the dude standing in front of Mercedes Benz with the gas can? That's gonna be me. That's gonna be me. I'm ready to burn it down.
We're gonna get a live stream from JP live from TII Bank Stadium in Jacksonville, Florida, if that happens. So keep your eye out, see if the shot goes off for three.
I'm gonna hit Tony Khan with a steel chair.
Hey, I'm gonna put it in the drafts now. Only thing Watson needed to get right was the game against the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I mean, it's been the same thing since like 2018 or whenever he was fucking drafted. The only thing he needed to get right was the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh yeah, I forgot he played in the AFC South.
Yeah, he used to kick our ass too. But that was back when he was good.
Oh man.
Yeah, JP, if he throws for 350, you definitely got to come back on.
100%. We're not even gonna say nothing.
We just gonna say you the link, dog. We just gonna summon you.
I'll appear like a little specter.
He gonna appear in my shot. He gonna try to like strangle me or something like that.
He'll be like the Undertaker.
He gonna be like a Big Rames and Baby Boy.
Wow. You just see Q in the headline.
Nah, cold.
Hey, wow.
I ain't about to voluntarily get choked out.
I can't do that. That's coworker. I can't do that.
I'm going straight to HR. What?
That's the HR problem. I can't do that.
This is how you deal with disappointment week 1. You basically talk about anything but week 2. Had a good time though. Had a good time.
Had a great time.
JP, let them know where to find you at, man.
You can find me at SB Nation. Find me on social media at Acosta32_JP. Establish the Fun, coming to you weekly. Just follow what I'm doing, see where I'm going.
Definitely check him out. He puts together some great film clips, some good stuff there. It's definitely a good follow. Be respectful if you follow him. I think we're all tired of people being assholes on social media. So put that disclaimer out there.
Yeah,
Cole,
100%.
Sign us off for today, man.
Hey, man. This is Cole. That was Q. Shout out Curtis. Shout out JP. We love y'all. And we'll see y'all next week.
Peace.